Hey everybody, it's Battlefield Boys bringing you a new Battlefield 3 video. This one's discussing the latest patch that has recently come out.
We're going to just give you our first thoughts, as well as everything that we've seen change significantly or just noticeably enough. And yeah, we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, just a quick explanation here. This video here that we put in, it's my first game after the patch. It was 35 minutes long because I was playing on a renter server. It was 35 minutes long, really good game. I didn't do particularly good, but I thought it was pretty good considering I've played Mass Effect for like a couple of months now, going back through Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2. But away from the Mass Effects and on to Battlefield 3.
Yes, once again.
The number one thing you'll notice when you get this patch, or if you've already had it, you probably already noticed it, is the fact that the game moves differently.
It feels very different. Like, as soon as I got in, I was like, is this the same game? You know, it felt very different. It was like going from Bad Company 2 to Battlefield 3. It's almost that much of a difference. Because, I mean, not only has the gameplay seemed to change, but also the players as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of noobs, but we'll get to that. Another thing I quickly noticed was the amount of people using shotguns. There was a lot of people using the USAS before the patch. I'm sure most of you noticed and got really angry at it.
Yes.
But now the Fletchet and the buckshot has been quite significantly improved. And it does quite more reliable damage, so you'll get kills a lot more consistently. So that's why a lot more people use them. They're a bit too overpowered for my liking personally.
Yeah, because before they were like fairly powerful without being overpowered, but now due to the fact that like shooting over ranges has been a lot more balanced, although not perfectly, it does feel like they're a fair bit more powerful.
Yeah, also another thing you'll probably notice, everything's a lot sharper. All the models' text stands out a lot better. They seem to have retextured quite a lot.
It seems a lot more defined.
It's really good, in a good way.
Because also they've changed several of the icons I've also noticed, such as the Jeep. That I noticed instantly. It seems somewhat weird almost to me, as well as I think they've also changed some of the, like, this is all on the minimap, or they've also changed the like A, B, C, all the control points. They seem to be slightly different, as well as the death icon. That's also really notably different.
And we've also noticed that, see, we've talked about it just a bit, the guns do a bit more reliable damage now over range, so you'll more consistently get those kills when you think you should.
Although they don't seem have quite as much of a punch up close though as they may have used to, but I don't know, maybe that's just my imagination.
Another thing you'll probably notice soon is the fact that the suppression in this game is ridiculous now.
It seems a lot more sensitive. So spots where you normally would not have got suppressed, you now will. However, to counter that, it seems it's not as effective on you as such, so basically the time it would take to fully suppress you seems to be longer.
But the recoil reduction and the range, recoil and accuracy reductions, recoil increase, accuracy reduction has been increased significantly, although the span of suppression has been also increased quite significantly. All the renter server, so where the server I'm playing on, is really cool. You get a lot more different game styles.
Yeah.
Although most of them are Metro 24/7 kind of servers, they do get kind of boring.
So there's less of diversity. It seems DICE have sold off pretty much most of, or if not all of their servers, which is both a good and a bad thing because economically it is understandable.
But this morning I was looking at the server list, I only saw 4 official DICE servers in Conquest in Australia when there used to be like 30 or 40.
But
I think EA's not providing servers anymore. I think only DICE is now.
Yeah. But I mean, hopefully this will mean we get more servers overall, but not necessarily. Because I mean, people will probably drop out after a while.
Yeah, because it is quite expensive. Well, not
ridiculously,
not forbiddingly expensive, but it's not cheap. How much is it? 90 days. It's like $60.
Yeah, I think it's $60 or 4,000 Microsoft points.
Yeah, 4,200. I think that's all.
Yeah.
Anyway, the one thing you'll probably see from this video is all the guns play completely differently. One main contributor to the factor is the change in the suppressor and the foregrips recoil effect. So before, if you had the suppressor on, it reduced recoil. And if you had the foregrip on, it also reduced recoil.
Yeah.
But now, having the suppressor and foregrips on is almost like only having the suppressor before the patch. It's quite significantly reduced. I should have got the knife there.
Yeah, I'm angry at you right now.
That's like this is my first game back. I'm so out of the groove, as you can probably see. But also, you'll probably see it soon. The grenade launcher becomes a little bit too common for my liking. Yep, here we go. It seems to have damage changed, but it seems to also be not as powerful. But I've noticed the amount of people using it has significantly increased. The second game I played after this, my number one death by weapon was the grenade launcher. I was so annoyed.
However, I know something, I don't know whether this is by chance, but rocket launchers, not necessarily rocket launchers, but more grenade launchers, they seem to, I don't know, do more damage when they explode close to you, because previously, if it was like within a couple of meters of you, it really wouldn't do much damage at all due to balancing issues, but now it seems to be a bit more powerful.
But we did a game just before we decided to commentate this. There was a point where we were walking up the stairs in CN Crossing, and there was a guy around the corner. We were like a meter away in game distance, and we shot him with the grenade launcher. We hit the wall behind him, and he didn't die.
Yeah, it did about 50 damage.
58 damage, I think it was.
On another game on what's the marketplace?
Grand Bazaar.
Yeah, on Grand Bazaar, I've shot an RPG at someone that was probably less than 1.5 meters away from me. Killed them.
But the thing is also, the grenade launchers in RPG seems to do their maximum damage a bit faster.
Yeah.
Because normally they'd have their minimum arming distance, but it doesn't seem to be as much of a factor.
Yeah.
So overall, the game has been quite well rounded out in terms of gameplay.
They've fixed all the problems, they've added everything that pretty much people have asked for, so it feels much more complete, although it does feel like a different game almost.
Although when you do get back in the groove, it still feels like the same old Battlefield, but it does it does add essence, but all the changes, seriously, it changes the way the game plays.
So it may take a little bit just to get used to all the things that have changed.
One thing you won't notice in this, because it is Metro, everything's flat, is the fact that they've significantly reduced the fall damage that you can take, which is, I'm sure most of you have noticed it that have the patch. It's amazing, because so many times you will jump off the second story and die.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Although it is realistic, but
it wasn't very enjoyable.
It wasn't enjoyable, but in the slightest. And I'm sure you guys will see it, but I get the suppression ribbon so many times in this game. I think they've reduced it from 7 assists to 5. Yeah. And so I'm like racing towards that medal. It's so easy to get now. It's just crazy. And another thing on that topic, when you won't notice when we play this game, is the parachute controls.
They're a lot more responsive. So, I mean, if you turn, you will literally turn straight away. I don't know, it almost feels too responsive.
Yeah, instead of waiting 5 or 10 seconds to be able to turn 90 degrees and their fall damage. I never noticed that sign that said Rue Catherine. Anyway, as soon as you fall down, if you're falling, like say if you jump out of the jet at the top of the map, if you're turning, it will now take like 2 or 3 seconds to turn 90 degrees, whereas it used to take 5 to 10 seconds to turn 90 degrees, and plus you would still be traveling in the original direction you were traveling in, but now it's more rounded out, so you have a lot more control over the direction you're in. And I'm sure also you guys have noticed the amount of noobs
has massively increased. You just got all these guys standing out in the open, completely unaware of their surroundings.
It's just not flanking, being unaware of flanks.
As soon as I started playing after the patch, it was just ridiculous. I mean, skill-wise, they could shoot you, but they just weren't aware of anything around them or using cover.
Now, I didn't particularly use it in this game, but I found the MP7 seems to have been quite significantly, like, buffed to my liking. Like, I think they've balanced the buff, but
it's quite nice at close quarters now.
It's really good at close quarters, especially with the 40-round mag and the rate of fire that it has. You still get the occasional close quarters kill. So you still get the occasional long range kill, but it's still really cool. I saw this guy had 55 service stars on it in this game, which is probably the most. Oh no, I think I saw a guy with 108 on the F2000 or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, the grenade launcher, as you can see there, it's also giving suppression assist for some reason, but in the essence of this game, I'm sure you guys have seen it, even though it's probably going too quick for you to make out, because it did end up being 35 minutes long. really, it was going back and forth, and we were significantly losing for a while, and we're still losing right now. Now, watching this video, I saw that I should have revived this guy, but I'm seriously so out of using my peripherals in this game, I did not even notice it, and I just ran in here and just got axed.
You had quite a few people shooting at you as well, so...
Yeah. Really, yeah, I've also found it's really hard to get health. Oh, sorry, ammo. Ammo's really hard to come by.
That's a
health,
rarity.
Everyone just bombs out health like crazy now. It's like everywhere you go there's a health pack. But ammo, on the other hand, you go up to the support and you have to jump in front of their face.
And there's
for
some
10 minutes.
conveniently placed ammo.
And we saw it in a game we just played. The box was in the same spot, like halfway in the floor.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's the modeling hasn't been fixed completely. Like, I doubt you could fix every single instance of modeling in the whole game. But it's good. It's good to the point. Like, it's a lot better. Than it was.
Fix the vast majority of issues. And now there's one brilliantly new thing that I really like: the fact that they've introduced a quit button.
So if you hate that server between games, instead of rage quitting before the end of the game, you can now quit between rounds. Especially if you're like, oh, Mum, I only have one game left before dinner.
And also, if you want to switch games with mates and stuff, because you're like, oh, we want to play on a specific map, or you want to go and play Rush. I mean, it's brilliant because that means you don't have to wait till the next game starts and then quit. It really saves you time.
Yeah, it's a lot better, and it also means that if you get owned or your team quits, you just quit too. Hopefully it reduces the amount of rage quitters.
And also that means you can actually stay to the end of the game and be a good player.
Unlike me. Jokes. The knifing, this is like a big part of our gameplay. Knifing has not been fixed. It's been made faster.
The knifing animation is still broken, so basically if you have your knife out, try and swipe one person, it still does not work.
So once you knife someone, if you go to knife a second person, you can't do it.
Unless you switch weapons.
Unless you switch weapons and then bring your knife out again.
Yeah.
But by that time, the counter would have already reset. So what happens is, you hold your knife out, you jam down on the right trigger, the right bumper, and your guy puts his knife away and brings out his gun. At that point, then you can knife again, and it's just not good enough. Like,
it's really annoying.
It's a knife breaker, as we've said many times before. It just drives you crazy.
But however, the animation of knifing is a lot smoother to transition into knifing them, as well as it seems to also be faster. Because I know several people are complaining about how slow it was and you get killed. Although it's not exceptionally faster, it seems slightly faster.
And also the point where you actually receive their tags and you get the kill seems to have been moved to a more accurate position for some of the animations.
Exactly when the knife goes in.
Because for some animations it was odd, like the one where they're lying prone when you roll them over. Sometimes as soon as you bring the knife on the backswing, you'd get their tags and you hadn't even stabbed them.
Yeah.
But it still hasn't been fixed to the point where it's like let you get all the kills you expect to get.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised to get that guy right there. I was just hoping to suppress him and hopefully get him to take cover and my team catch up and kill him, but I ended up shooting him in the head.
Which leads us on to our final point. There is now horns in the Jeep.
I don't see how really that led, but anyway. The horns in the Jeeps. Anything leads to that. Horns in the Jeeps. Amazing. It's so good.
Yeah, because now you can get the attention of all your teammates and just annoy other people.
And there's no timeout on them, is there?
No.
It's just so fun. So in the end of that game, we didn't do particularly amazingly. I didn't start the game on the team, and I did leave like twice. Not leave the server, but I had to AFC for a couple of points. But ended up it was good. I went 47 for 30. First game after the patch. That was pretty good. I got two suppression medals that game. And I think I got like 4 the next game. You get them after 5 suppression assists. It's crazy. Now guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one.
Yep, and see you.